Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm MXGP3, and for today what I have here is MXGP3. So I usually have tested every year MXGP, or every time they release a new motocross game. And this game is being developed always by Milestone SRI, but for today, in this game, instead of they used their typical engine, they are now using Unreal Engine 4, so they kind of migrate to this engine. So I'm going to use the I presets in order to play the game with temporal AA at 4 times, but I also benchmarked the game with ultra settings, with every stuff at the complete maximum, and obviously dynamic FPSs. Sorry, my throat. I also tried the game on median settings, where I used the temporal AA low and anisotropic 4, and I tested the game too with the low settings with 2 times anisotropic and FXAA to I settings. Okay, so I benchmarked all these settings. You can find all these results in the description of the video. I tried 2 tracks, but for this video, what we will be seeing is these 2 tracks with the I settings at 1080p, because it's currently the 2 tracks that I decided to benchmark, okay, and the best settings that I found to play this game. So I will start with Pietra Murata, which is what I believe to be one of the most demanding tracks of the game, if not the mostest. Okay, I just tried like 5 tracks. I didn't try all of them, but without a doubt, this track was extremely more demanding than any other track. Okay, so I'm using AMD Relive to record, so you can expect like less 3 to 5 frames per second on the FPS counter. So keep that in mind when you see FPS is lower than 30 sometimes. But apart from that, it's fine. So one of the things that I noticed immediately on this game, it's the difference in graphics comparing to the difference in graphics comparing to the other titles from Milestone. So it's much more improved by now, and it's not too bad optimized, but you can't really go for 60 FPS in this game. I'm not really sure if on the other ones I could do it, but I suggest you to target like 30 FPS for this game, because we don't have the horsepower. The only way to reach 60 FPS and not completely stable is by dropping to low settings. Anyway, if 30 FPS for you is not enough and you want a boost, you just need to reduce the shader quality to low, which on the I preset is median. But if you put it on low, you absolutely get some boost in frame rate. But anyway, I will put again to median, and as you can see, by reducing that you earn like 6 frames, 7 frames. Might be useful if your graphic card is less clocked than mine and you are actually getting a ton of FPS lower than 30s. You might actually want to drop that shaded level or quality to low. Okay, so with that, I think that's all that I want to talk about MXGP, so hope you keep enjoying the rest of the video. Like I was telling you, I'm going to try 2 tracks. This is the first one. The second one, if you want to jump to there is a timestamp on the description of the video. There is also there the results without recording for multiple settings, and actually a frame rate proof download, which is an Excel file with all the data. Okay, so again, hope you keep enjoying the rest of the video, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye. Hello boys and girls, welcome to the performance section of the video. So in Pietra Murata you can see that the eye settings, the frame rate got a little bit lower than 30 FPS at the end of the video. That is when appears the motorcycle in slow motion, finishing the track. So yes, those dropped frames were pretty much because of that, but as you can see on the green graph, the frame rate is very close to going down than 30 FPS. So like I said, if you have a low clocked HD 7850 or a lower clocked than mine, you might actually want to drop the shader level to low, okay? But if you see on Tilt Chantal, or whatever this is pronounced, with the track raining, the frame rate is much better. So we got an average of 48, and the minimums are much better. So what can I conclude is that Pietra Murata is indeed a very demanding track, and comparing to the other tracks, I'm not really sure if it is the most demanding, but comparing to the 5 tracks that I did try it was obviously and noticeably more demanding than the others, so might be just a problem with Pietra Murata. Regarding consistency, the eye settings just had like 0.7% of frames lower than 30 FPS, so it's completely fine. But still, I still recommend you to use the eye settings in order to play. It uses 1.8 to 1.9 gigabytes of VRAM. The RAM usage was between the 4.5 to 5 gigabytes of RAM. So I believe that if you have 4 gigabytes of RAM, you will be able to play the game. Just make sure that you don't have too much stuff open on the background. CPU usage was between the 40s to 70%, and GPU usage was giving its maximum, being the major bottleneck in this game, and that's good. It means that the Phenom II can handle this game. If you have a 30 FPS, 40 FPS or 50 FPS target. Although for 60 FPS, Phenom II falls short and starts to bottleneck the HD 7850, making it impossible to sustain a 60 FPS experience with the Phenom II. Okay, so that's all that I want to talk about MXGP3. I'm very impressed with the upgrade to the graphics. The gameplay remained the same, which is good. And so that's all. Hope you enjoyed the video. I do hope to see you soon. Thank you a lot for watching.